Okay. So, welcome back and let us start with the lecture number 37, and we are now discussing the discretization of the Navier-Stokes system. And as in the previous lecture I have said that the complexity which is involved in the Navier-Stokes solver is because of the pressure velocity coupling. And since so far the diffusion system or convection diffusion system that we have discussed, we have not taken into account this pressure gradient term or the rather the pressure velocity coupling. So, that brings that extra bit of complexity while dealing with the Navier-Stokes solver, especially in primitive variables. And what I mean by primitive variable, when you stick to the system and solve with velocity component and pressure component, density, all this. So, you do not transform the system to any other derived variable, which is very common in fluid flow problem. Now, while doing that, we have looked at that when you store everything, all the variables when you store on the cell center, which is a common practice when we have been talking about convection diffusion system, that everything has been stored inside the cell center, especially while talking about the structured orthogonal grid system. And if you store everything in the cell center, that gives rise to the checkerboarding kind of situation. And the remedy to that now you just shift by an half of the cell width. That means, now velocity components, those are stored at the cell faces. So, the control volume which will be defined for velocity component, that would be the half of each cell, and then the scalar variables you store inside the cell center, and that is the where we started doing the calculation. And now we consider a one dimensional system and try to derive the simple algorithm, and where you get an equation, a pressure correction equation, which actually conserve the continuity or the mass conservation. So, from the pressure correction equation, whatever the update velocity field we will get, that will again update the velocity field to recompute the momentum equation. So, we have just derived the mathematics, and now we go back and look at the details of that algorithm. So, let us look where we stopped, is that we were in the middle of these things, and this is where we derived the mathematics and stopped getting the mathematics, and we got back this equation which is the pressure correction equation. So, if you recall, so we have gone through this mathematics and got the pressure correction equation. This is what essentially is done in the simple algorithm. Now, we will look at how the algorithm actually works, but still please keep in mind, this is now what we are deriving on staggered grid. So, whatever we have been doing here, this algorithm and the corrections term being in the staggered grid system. So, how the system would work for the simple algorithm? So, let us look at that, the pseudo algorithm, how it works. So, this is an iterative procedure to get the solution. So, how you do that? You start with some guess values for pressure and velocity. So, which will allow you to compute P n, V n or U n, whatever you call it, because in the one dimensional system. So, that will compute these things at the every location in the domain. So, that is the guess value or the start value. Now, one can solve the momentum equation by using these guess values, which will get you the new velocity field, which is u f star. Then third, you update the mass flow rates using the momentum satisfying velocity field to obtain the m dot f. Fourth, using the new mass flow rates, you solve the pressure correction equation, solve the pressure correction equation to obtain P prime. Then fifth, now you update the pressure and U to get continuity satisfying fields using the following equations, which is UF star star equals to UF star plus UF prime, where UF prime would be minus df u del p prime by del x at f, where Pc star equals to Pc n plus Pc prime, and m dot f star star equals to m dot star f plus m dot prime f, where m dot f prime is calculated as rho f df u delta y f del p prime by del x f. Now, sixth, you can use u n equals to u star star and p n equals to p star. So, you repeat the process, like go back to step number 2 and repeat the same till convergence. So, it is essentially an iterative process. So, within that, when you inside the domain you want to get or achieve the exact pressure and velocity field. So, you start with gauge value, then next level you solve the momentum equation, and so once you solve the momentum equation, you get the intermediate fields, then you calculate your mass flow rates and all these things to check whether it conserves the mass flow rate or not. And then using the new mass flow rate, which will not be mass flow rate satisfying condition, you obtain the pressure correction equation, and that pressure correction equation you solve for p prime. And then once you get the p prime, then you update all the variable using these corrections, and which will obviously satisfy the mass. Then you again assign those current value for the next level of iteration, and you go back till you get the convergence. So, that is how the famous simple algorithm works, and this is one of the famous algorithm which has been implemented in many commercial softwares or the CFD code. They use this algorithm for pressure velocity coupling with some level of advancement, and that we will discuss as we go towards the end of discussion of this pressure velocity coupling algorithms. So, now if we go to a two dimensional domain, so what happens there? We can actually go back to a system. So, where you see this is a Cartesian system, 2D Cartesian staggered grid. So, this is where you start doing the calculations for the pressure and velocity coupling. So, we first looked at one dimensional. So, one dimensional was nothing but a special case if you take any of this row where you have only u and v, and now we come back to. So, as you can see, since it is a staggered grid arrangement, all my pressures are stored inside the cell center. So, these are the control volume which are going to be taken or considered for pressure. Now, when you come down to the u momentum equation, the control volume will shift by delta x by 2. So, this is going to be the control volume for u momentum equation, where u is stored at the face. So, this is the control volume for any interior node, the u momentum equation. So, these are going to be the control volume. So, you get the u which is stored at the faces, and for v, this is going to be the control volume for v. So, if you see, v is also stored at the face. So, these are going to be the control volume for v, because these are component of v. Now, which means your pressure and velocity, they are shifted by delta x by 2 and delta y by 2 if you think about it is an uniform grid. Now, the staggered arrangement, it just to handle it in a numerical code or inside the code is just nothing but handling the data structure, which means essentially once you keep tag of these cell centers and the node, you just shift it for one cell or half cell for u and half cell by for v. So, you get a proper control volume for u and v momentum equation. Now, what we have got, the derivations which presented earlier or we have discussed earlier, they remain same. Now, the pressure corrections equation that we will obtain, it will have now contribution not only from the x component of the velocity, it will be now from the v component also velocity. So, if we look at this, the pressure correction equation, we can follow similar procedure that we have carried out for one dimensional case and can obtain the pressure correction equation, and the pressure correction equation will look like P prime PC prime plus AE P prime PE prime plus AW P prime PW prime AN P prime PN prime AS P prime PS prime equals to BC P prime. Now, if you compare with your one dimensional case, you have now two extra component which will come, or the coefficients in the linear matrix, the contribution come from the north and south elements, where AE P prime equals to minus rho E d E u delta y c divided by del x E. A w p prime equals to minus rho w dw u delta y c divided by del x w. A n p prime rho n dn v delta x c by delta y n, and A s p prime minus rho s ds v delta x c divided by del y s, and A c p prime is A e p prime, A w p prime, A n p prime, A s p prime, and B c p prime equals to minus m dot E, m dot w, m dot n, m dot s. So, that is what you get the correction equations with all relevant coefficients. Now, once you get the pressure corrections equation, then you have to solve the similar way like an simple algorithm. So, you can still apply the simple algorithm and solve in a similar fashion. So, in this case also you can start with some guess value, and now what will happen here, you start with the guess value, start with guess values. Now, this is u, v and p. So, essentially instead of u and p, now you have the second component of velocity v and p. Then you solve momentum. Once you solve momentum, you get all the u star, v star and all this intermediate field using the guess value. So, you have to solve two momentum equations, and u and v which will be stored at the cell faces. Once you get that, then you check the continuity for mass conservation, and once it is not there, you end up getting the pressure correction equation. So, you solve for the pressure correction equation, and that is what exactly we have obtained here. So, once you solve for the pressure correction equation, you get the new pressure, and then you update all the u and v, and with that again you check for continuity, otherwise. So, again check for mass balance and update the field for next level of iteration. So, you repeat this process and get the solution for that. Now, this is what happens when you deal with the two dimensional grid. So, now from two dimensional to three dimensional, the things would change. Now, if you go to a three dimensional cell, so this will be a three dimensional element. Now, this is 3D Cartesian element. There now you get 6 faces. When 2D you had 4 faces, now 6 you have 3D 6 faces: east, west, north, south, top, bottom. So, you got all these faces, and so now in 3D your fields would be u, v, w and pressure. So, once you use this information, So, 3D also similarly you need to get an pressure correction equation. Now, there the pressure correction equation will have more coefficients or your matrix will become larger in size. What happens? You get AC P prime PC prime plus AE P prime PE prime plus AW P prime PW prime. So, that is any direction along the x direction. So, you get this coefficient east, west and C. Now, you get for north P prime Pn prime plus a S P prime Ps prime. So, that will take care the north face and south face, and then you get two more component a T P prime Pt prime plus a B P prime Pb prime, which is nothing but BC P prime. So, the top and the bottom face. So, top and bottom face, and here one can imagine the coefficients would be looking similar as long as we assume it is an uniform grid. So, the coefficients would look exactly similar that we have obtained for two dimensional case. So, let us get that. So, AE P prime is rho E d U delta y E and delta z E by delta x C. Now, a W P prime is minus rho W dW U delta y W delta z W by del x W. A n P prime equals to minus rho n d n V del x n del z n divided by del y n A S P prime rho s d s V delta x s delta z s by delta y s. A T P prime equals to minus rho t dt w delta x t delta y t. Now, this is delta z t. A bottom P prime rho b dB w delta x b delta y b divided by del z b, and as usual A C P prime is minus A E P prime A W P prime A N P prime A S P prime A T P prime A B P prime. So, the negative of all these coefficients, and mass conservation would get the source term which is B C P prime equals to minus m dot E star plus m dot W star m dot N star m dot S star m dot T star plus m dot B star. So, that is what you get for all the coefficients in 3-dimensional system. Now, once we are talking about this staggered grid system, it is not necessarily that always this is going to be advantageous. There are certain situations where the staggered grid can be also a problematic. For example, I mean, but most of the regular calculation staggered grids is always helpful, but if you try to use for every case, that is not possible. Now, top of this staggered grid calculations, it has more memory requirement because your data structure or the handling of data structure increases or the size of the data structure increases. And when you move to a non-Cartesian system, so this is, as long as you are in the Cartesian system, this is a perfect one can think about of using. This can avoid your checkerboarding problem. But if you go down to a non-Cartesian system, for example, in this kind of geometry where there is a U kind of bend, and now you try to, this is a curvilinear grid system and the velocity fields are stored in staggered arrangement, and this will be our cell centered. Now, if that is the case, then this can be a problem when one or more surfaces become aligned with the staggered velocity component. So, as you can see, when you come down to elements like this one and this one, here if you see this particular phase component of the velocity or the U component of the velocity, pretty much it is aligned with the geometric alignment. Secondly, in the top surface also, this guy is pretty much aligned with the geometric alignment. Similarly, for V component of velocity, this one and this component, they are having problem. So, this one and this one, here this one, this one. So, they are aligned with the surface curvature and the components. Now, one can think about a better alternative to use some sort of a covariant and or contravariant velocity components. So, if you use some sort of a covariant and contravariant velocity component, then you can avoid this kind of alignment with the surface. So, this is here you can see, this is a example of an cell elements, and the components which are shown here, these are the covariant component and this is the contravariant component. So, co and contravariant component if you do, then covariant component is goes in this direction, contravariant in the other direction, and then you can have a specific way to calculate this covariant and contravariant component using your transformation system. And if you use the covariant and contravariant in the curvilinear system, then this looks a perfect staggering arrangement which does not have any problem, or you may not have at all the alignment of the flow field with the geometric curvature. So, the idea is that whenever you have some geometric complexity or it is not a regular geometry, you can always transform that to a regular geometry and do that, or rather your system has to take care of those covariant and contravariant components. Now, the thing is that this may lead to some sort of a complications when discretizing the momentum equations in curvilinear coordinate system. So, due to this increased complexity in the treatment of the all the conservative terms. Now, another option which could be, especially this can lead to a problem in the discretization of diffusion term. So, another alternative one can think about to stagger all Cartesian velocity components in all direction, so as to have all velocity component at all faces. So, that would double the dimension or triple the dimension of the equation like this to be solved. So, the computational overhead increases substantially, because all the faces now actually start storing all the component of the velocity field. For example, if you look at this face, this storing this component, also this component. Similarly, this face store both the component, this face also. So, each face stores both the components of the velocity field. Now, the problem is further complicated in this case of an unstructured grid. So, this is still a regular grid, but in a curvilinear system, but when you have an unstructured grid, there you can get more problem. Now, in that case, the unstructured case, you do not have any staggering direction. So, unstructured grid, no specific staggering direction, which can allow you to do that. And only way for staggering concept to apply is by changing the size of the cell elements, which was used for pressure and velocity component. Now, finally, what happens that the geometric information is also stored and more than the doubled when you go like this kind of arrangement, increases the computational overhead like anything. Now, which turns out when you see all these advantages, disadvantages, or rather pros and cons of all these, it turns out that the collocated grid system is quite attractive. Collocated system where everything stored at cell center is found to be quite attractive, and that is what I mean, lot of CFD codes which are on finite volume, they prefer to use cell centered collocated grid system. But one can note that while the velocity components are stored at the centroids of the elements, as in the case for pressure or any other variable, the mass flux or scalar flux, scalar value in a collocated grid is stored at the element faces. So, the like this, the mass flux can actually be viewed as a contravariant component, except that is the case it is computed using a custom interpolation of a discrete momentum equation, which is known as Riccio interpolation, which is one of the famous technique which is used in collocated arrangement. And using this interpolation, you can actually you have everything at the cell center. So, it is a cell centered collocated arrangement, and then you get an using this interpolation scheme, you get the fluxes interpolated at the faces. So, that you can avoid the problem of the checkerboarding issue. So, this is what the Riccio interpolation does. Now, the thing is that the deficiency in the original collocated formulation, which is the primarily the checkerboard or zigzag flow field, zigzag flow and pressure field, these are now can be avoided using this interpolation. Now, this one can see how one can, now it is essentially an equivalent to constructed a in this particular arrangement. Now, you see we taken one dimensional tensile and everything is stored at cell center, and these are the flux components, and we use this Riccio interpolation. Now, this Riccio interpolation Riochow interpolation, what it does, or in this particular method what it does, that it actually construct a pseudo momentum equation at element phase with its coefficient linearly interpolated from the coefficient of the momentum equation which are based on the cell center. Now, how it is mathematically done? So, you start with a cell C and the downstream cell F, and you write UC plus HC equals to BCU minus DCU del P by del X at C. Similarly, for F, this is HFU equal to BFU minus DFU del P by del X at F. So, now if UF is the velocity equation similar to this equation, then the pressure gradient linked to the local neighboring pressure values can be seen here, and UF can be written as HF U equals to BFU minus DFU del F by del X at F. So, what now, since it is in the collocated system, so the coefficient of this equation, this particular equation, if you look at it, this is at the phase. So, the coefficient of this particular equation cannot be computed directly because it is in the collocated arrangement and all the values are stored at cell center. So, since they are stored at the cell center, you cannot do this. So, they are approximated by some interpolation from the coefficients of the neighboring nodes. So, you use some sort of a linear interpolation profile, and there you can get HF U equals to half of H C U plus H F U, which is, one can think, H F U bar. Similarly, B F U, which is half of B C U plus B F U, which is B F U bar. D F U, D C U, D F U, D F U bar. So, you use these values into this equation, and what you get an pseudo momentum equation which is written as UF plus HF U prime BF U prime minus DF U del P by del X F. So, this is in all practical sense the momentum equation on a staggered grid. So, if you look at this particular equation, what this is, I say it is a pseudo momentum for collocated arrangement or system, but if you look at, this is equivalent to an momentum equation on staggered arrangement. So, by doing this kind of interpolation, what we essentially do, we actually transform the equation system to a such system where you get a similar staggered arrangement, I mean similar equations which looks exactly like an staggered arrangement. Now, in this one, the between the C and F, one has to obtain the linear interpolation. So, any variable which lies there in between F, can be calculated as like this plus G F like this. So, use some sort of an where G stands for geometric interpolation factors. So, it relates to the position of the face with respect to C and F. Now, we can rewrite Hf by U, which is half of minus UC plus BCU minus DCU del P by del x C minus UF BFU minus DFU del P by del x F, which is minus UF prime dF prime del P by del x F prime plus BFU. Now, if you look at the coefficients, this could be of second order. So, one can see that. So, this is my del P by del x at F minus DFU by del P by del x at F, which is half of DCU del P by del x C plus DFU del P by del x F minus half of DCU plus DFU into half of del P by del x C plus del P by del x F, which is equivalent to 1/4 DCU del P by del x C minus del P by del x F, which is there, plus 1/4 DFU del P by del x F minus del P by del x C, which would be second order approximated scheme. So, this shows that this is also a second order approximation. Now, what we do, we get this one and then we put it back in the pseudo momentum equation. So, we can have UF equals to minus HF plus BF minus DFU by del P by del x F, which is UF bar minus bar del P by del x F minus del P by del x A bar. So, this is the average velocity and this component is some sort of an correction term. So, one can think of that way that now if you have a, so this is in one dimensional, if you have multi-dimensional, now multi-dimension you get V and Z component. So, you can write similarly Vf equals to Vf bar minus dA V bar del P by del y at face minus del p by del y face bar, which is like that, W f equals to W a bar minus del p by del z f minus del p by del z bar f. Now, what happens, you can see the equation system that you can, now all these equation, this one and this one, for 2 to 3 dimension one can write in a some sort of an vector form. If you write in a vector form, you can write V f equals to V a bar minus d a v bar delta p f minus delta p f bar, where d f v bar equals to a matrix which is d f u 0 0 0 d f v bar 0 0 0 d f w bar, and delta p f is calculated as delta p f bar plus p f minus p c by d c f minus delta p f e c f, and this is E C f. So, this is the term correction to interpolated phase gradient. This already we have seen while dealing with the unstructured grid system, and especially in the diffusion system we have done this calculation. Now, where C f is the direction formed only from the adjacent cell values P f and P c. So, we calculate del P f dot E c f, which is del P f bar dot E c f plus P f minus P c by d c f minus del P f dot E c f E c f dot E c f, which will get you back P f minus P c by d c f, where the phase velocity is closely linked to the pressure of the adjacent cells. So, here you can avoid the checkerboard problem. Now, before we derive the multidimensional momentum equation and multidimensional pressure corrections equation, so one can look at the some sort of an discretization of the momentum equation or the discrete momentum equation. So, let us consider this element, which is a very standard element, unstructured element, and element C, where the cell center is there. Then you have all these 6 surroundings elements, then you have these faces, this face, this, all these faces are there. These are the surface vectors which are normal to those faces, and the momentum equation you write in this fashion: del del t of rho v plus delta dot rho v v equals to minus del p plus delta dot mu delta V plus delta dot mu del V transpose plus A B source term. Now, you want to discretize this one within the time interval t minus delta t by 2 to t plus delta t by 2. Now, one can basically take the volume integral and then convert them to a surface integral as we have done. So, if you go about that way, then we look at first individual term by term system. So, first look at this term, which is essentially del dot mu del V transpose dV. If you convert that to surface integral, it is mu del V t dot ds, which will be surface integral of NBC mu del V transpose dot SF. Now, the expanded form of del V transpose dot SF or SF in a 3-dimensional coordinate system, one can think about this would be del u by del x SF x plus del u by del y SF V plus del u by del z SF w. Similarly, del V by del x SF x del V by del y SF V plus del V by del z SF w, and del w by del x SF x del w by del y SF V del w by del z SF w. So, this would be x y, not v, just make a note here, this is surface vector. So, this would be S f x, this is S f y, this is S f z. So, along this column barabar they are same, it is a surface vector which is a component of S f x I plus S f y j plus S f z k. So, when we take the dot product, it will be all y j k. Now, similarly, we can look at the pressure gradient term, which will be delta p c v c, and when we transform it to surface integral, this will become essentially del v c p dot ds, which is summation over all the cell faces P f S f, and body force term, which is also a volume integral, which will be written like that. Now, one can use for the time integration, if we use the first order Euler scheme. So, first order Euler scheme if we use and discretize the unsteady term, and for convection term we use HR scheme, which is higher order scheme, and it is implemented HR scheme with deferred correction. So, which can be taken care of the, and decomposing the diffusion flux, which is implicit part aligned with the grid and explicit cross diffusion part. So, diffusion will have implicit component plus explicit component, that means this is aligned with the phase and this is cross diffusion term. Then the discretized momentum equation would look like discretized, and by the way you can note, or one has to note, that all these discretization process we have done separately, and that is why I have been telling, when we come down to the fluid flow solve problem, individual component integrations and discretization, they are taken care of. So, this we all separately discussed, and now we will put together things for the momentum equation, and which will look like AC V Vc plus summation over NBC AFV Vf equals to BCV. Here V superscript stands for the vector, and here the coefficient flux are given by ACV is flux Cc plus surface flux, or the summation over phases flux Cf, and AF, which is flux Ff, and BCV, which is given as flux Vc minus summation of F NBC flux Vf plus summation of NBC mu f del Vf transpose dot Sf minus del Pc Vc, where you can have the term like flux Cf equals to m dot f 0 plus mu f uf by dCf, which is convection contribution, this is your diffusion contribution, and flux Ff equals to minus m dot f 0 minus mu f by dCf. This is again convection contribution, this is again diffusion contribution, and flux Vf equals to minus mu f delta Vf dot Tf plus m dot f Vf HR high resolution skip minus Vf upwind skip, and we can compute other two term, which is like Cc equals to rho c Vc by delta T, and flux Vc equals to minus rho c naught Vc by delta T minus C Vc. So, this is how we calculate individual term, and we will stop here today and take it up from here in the next class. Thank you.